Again, I already got my pass for
You heard me confess it on the air on Monday.
But love the spring around Central Oregon. I don't know. Spring doesn't get much better anywhere in the country, in my opinion.
But spring comes with a weather artifact that consistently leaves viewers writing in and asking, well, why?
Guess what? This was the unofficial end of spring, rolling into summer, but our roller coaster spring continues. 70s on Monday, 80s on Tuesday, 90s on Wednesday, back to the 80s because we can't make up our mind on Thursday and Friday, and then we're back to the 90s on Saturday, and then just for fun, because it is still spring, we're back to 80s on Sunday. So the question I always get is, why do the temperatures fluctuate so much? And so does Durrell.
Yeah, roller coaster temperatures. It's a thing that you'll hear me talk about a lot on air, as well as most meteorologists, not even just in the Pacific Northwest. But these roller coaster temperatures happen because of cold fronts and warm fronts that are rolling through. And typically during the summer, we get a zonal flow, and that's an east to west flow just straight across the Pacific Northwest.
But when spring rolls around, that somewhat predictable pattern of weather makes a pretty sizable change.
When you start to get these cold fronts and these warm fronts push through the region, we enter into what's called a meridional flow. And basically it's waves. And as those waves catch up with you, you're either getting warm air or cold air, hence the front edge of the cold air is the cold front. And so we'll just see roller coaster temperatures because we're in an active pattern that's conducive of just seeing those temperatures go up and down based off of the fronts coming through.
Now, the hardest class in meteorology school, at least for me, was called thermodynamics. You have to do a bunch of calculus equations to come up with the simple conclusion that hot and cold don't like each other. And when they clash in Central Oregon, the results can be literally shocking.
So when it comes to spring, especially when you're getting closer to summer than winter, is you really start to get the cold air mixing with really, really warm air. And when you have that big of a difference between the cold and the warm, you really start to see more energetic weather pushing through.
On Wednesday this week, Mother Nature gave us a perfect display of thermodynamics.
Strangely enough, on Wednesday, when we get into the 90s, now we have a chance for some thunderstorms actually popping up.
Cooler air from the north clashed with warmer air from the south.
Now, if you're getting tired of the roller coaster, don't worry, because Mother Nature is currently working on a little thing we call the Pacific High.
When we go into summer, we're tilted towards the sun and a ridge of high pressure is just going to build up. It's going to start over the Pacific and it's going to build into the Pacific Northwest. And sometimes that just locks in place. And when that high pressure locks in place, that's when we see temperatures like we saw just a couple years ago in June when we had record-breaking heat. The hottest temperatures we've had in the Tri-County area on record is because of that dome of high pressure just getting so strong.
But in the meantime, we'll continue to ride the roller coaster.
Just continues. Now, while Memorial Day is often considered the unofficial start of summer, what I witnessed this past Memorial Day, I will now consider to be the unofficial end of spring. Enjoy.
For Central Oregon Daily News, I'm Scott Elmas.